Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tayler. I'm from Xperico, and today I will be presenting on the investigation of different step-down cooling regimes utilized in conjunction with SmartFresh to reduce the risk of internal browning of Cripps Pink apples and to provide year-round supply of good quality fruit. Internal browning, or IB, of Cripps Pink apples is a worldwide tendency and has cost the South African industry millions of rands in revenue. The types of internal browning in this cultivar have been verified. They are radial browning, diffuse browning, combination browning, CO2 browning or cavities, and misshapen fruit browning. Storage regimes have been adapted. Fruit are stored above 0 degrees Celsius and for shorter term CA storage periods, maximum 4 to 5 months. However, longer term CA storage, 7 to 9 months, is still a risk for IB. Internal browning has its potential determined by pre- and post-harvest factors. While pre-harvest factors are often out of the control of the producer, post-harvest factors can be manipulated to mitigate the risk of internal browning expression. Pre-harvest factors are growing region, orchard factors, seasonal climatic variables, and harvest maturity. Post-harvest factors are cooling rate, 1-MCP treatment, CA conditions, storage temperature, and storage time. Step cooling has proven to reduce stress on fruit. The materials and methods followed in this trial are as follows. 2 areas were used, Ceres Boekenveld and Grabo. 10 populations were included, 5 per area. The harvest maturity was optimum or 30 to 40% starch breakdown. 1-MCP was applied within 7 days. Cooling regimes used in this trial is as illustrated here, treatment 1 to 5. I will explain more now. And examinations for this trial was a full maturity at harvest, then after 9 months CA, again after 4 weeks RA at -0.5, and the last examination was after a 7-day shelf life at 20 degrees Celsius. The fruit were harvested in April. 1-MCP was applied to 4 treatments, but not the last. Then, step cooling occurred in 30-day increments for treatment 1 and 2, and the fruit was stored for 9 months, and CA conditions were opened in January, after 9 months CA. Treatment 1 and 2 started at 4 degrees or 3 degrees down to 1 degrees. They were stored at the university cold room facilities. Treatment 3 received a commercial recipe for step cooling and was stored at +0.5 degrees Celsius up until September when the commercial room opened, and the fruit were then moved to the university cold rooms and stored at 1 for the remainder of the storage period. Treatment 4 and 5 had no step cooling. The difference between treatment 4 and 5 is that treatment 4 still received a 1-MCP treatment, but treatment 5 had no 1-MCP treatment. I could not show all the results of the trial, so I will show you results after RA. This is for radial browning. You can see the incidence of radial browning for Grabo and Ceres. Most of the radial browning incidents occurred in the Grabo area. These arrows indicate where radial browning incidence was for treatment 4 and 5. Thus, when no step cooling was received. Diffuse browning, also after RA storage, for Ceres and Cripps looked as follows. But you can see that more diffuse browning occurred in the Ceres area. Here again, the arrows indicate where diffuse browning incidents occurred for treatment 4 and 5. Thus, where no step cooling was applied. So to conclude, storing for up to 9 months CA is certainly not recommended at this stage, especially in high-risk years for superficial scald and internal browning. These conditions were followed for trial purposes only to get treatment differences, and it identified possible risk protocols not to be followed commercially. Area differences were possibly due to harvest maturity differences. A risk for internal browning, that is, radial and diffuse browning, and for fruit quality, was identified if not stepped cooled. The best results were found when step cooling started from 3 degrees down. A risk of radial browning was identified if not step cooled and subjected to 1 MCP. And also, a risk for radial browning seems to be linked to less mature fruit. Diffuse browning, on the other hand, is related to over-maturity and low storage temperatures, substantiating previous research results. Thank you.